Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Easter weekend and Passover is upon us, and that often means that families are getting together and relatives are visiting. It can also mean a lot of change and drama for the kids and really the entire family. Our parenting expert, Julie Freedman Smith, is here now with how to have the weekend go smoothly. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Thank you for this.
Lots going on, eh?
Lots going on, right? So where do we start when it comes to just mapping out the weekend?
Well, first of all, expectations. So whether you've got people moving into your house, you were just saying, and kind of rearranging everybody in a small house, or you're going to visit family somewhere else, or you're cooking dinner. All of these things, extra family, people you haven't seen for a while, recipe for disaster.
Can be,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And so just knowing that and getting really clear about expectations. So things like, you know, if you're going to someone's house for some kind of a celebration, expectations for your kids, what time you actually have to go. If you have older kids, letting them know, our plan is that we're leaving at this time. I'm expecting you to wear this. There won't be any screens at the table. Right. If you have younger kids, we're leaving there at 9:30 and coming home and you're going to bed. So know that now. So those kinds of things, getting clear about the expectations on the kids.
Right.
Getting clear about the expectations on yourself.
Yes.
So if you know that Uncle George is going to be there and he's going to say something obnoxious that he says every year, make a plan for how, oh, Uncle George, aren't you funny? Or whatever that is, right? If you know that your kids have yucky table manners, now is the time to get clear about a couple of rules that you want to put in, and we can talk about that.
Yes.
If you have kids who aren't very good at greeting people and who hide behind your leg and cling onto your thigh, you know, how we can make a plan for that. So there are lots of things ahead of time that we can set out to make things go more smoothly.
Okay, so lots of things that we could dig into there.
Yes.
But why don't we talk about maybe, so for example, in my house, when Grandma and Grandpa come to visit, my little guy has to give up his bedroom because we don't have a separate spare bedroom.
Sure.
So how would we deal with something like that? First of all, I tend to thank him for doing that, right? So that we can all have a nice weekend. And then how do we get clear on, you know, my daughter having to now have an interloper in her room?
Right. So part of that is because of the age of your kids, but even when our kids are younger, we can break it down more simply for them. We need a plan for how this is going to work well. What are some of the things that could happen? How are you each going to have your space? What doesn't he get to touch in your room?
Right.
Like, do we need to put some things away in a special closet?
Yes.
So just mapping it out. Let's make a plan of how this is going to work well. And when it doesn't, instead of having a fight, come and talk to me. We can work it out.
Right. Okay.
But I know you guys have got this, and we can work together, right?
Yes.
So involving our kids in the plan on that, and no bickering about it. This is just what we do as a family. So yes, it's kind of him to do that, but also it's not a superhero. He's not so special. This is what we do in the family. Thank you very much.
Let's move on.
Right?
Okay, terrific. Now, what about when we go to somebody's house, for example, and maybe other people have expectations on, you say, even the time that we're going to eat, right?
Yes.
So some people like to eat at 7.
Yes.
It's like, well, we've got younger kids. I get up really early. We need to eat at 5:30.
Right.
So what happens when all of a sudden you see, okay, nothing's happening here. It's 6:30. It's 7.
So ideally, you clarify that the day before. But if you're a guest, then you have to go that way. So then I always, anyway, fed my kids a little bit before we went so that they're not starving and getting hangry and unruly, and possibly myself, because that may be my nature also. And then you get clear about when you have to leave. So I appreciate that you may want to start the dinner at 7:30. We have a hard close at 9 o'clock. We have to leave at 9. So thank you very much, and we'll enjoy as much as we can, and then we have to go.
Right.
And if you have, I mean, this is not particularly you, but, well, yes, it kind of is. If you have a husband who loves to socialize with people, yes, it is you.
Actually.
And you know that you need to get home for something, take 2 cars. This is something to plan ahead. So if you've got little kids and they need to go home and go to bed, but one of you wants to stay and talk to your siblings that you never see, great. Plan ahead. Don't do that thing, you know, hurry up, can you finish talking to them? We have to go. That's not fun for anybody.
No, it's not fun. We've done that actually in the past, and it works really well. But again, everybody's clear on what the expectations are, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then I guess we should just have some fun, right?
Well, yes, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about on Passover dinner, so Easter dinner lasts a certain length of time. Involve your kids at the table.
Yes.
My dad, last week for family dinner, he came and he gave to all the grandkids a little piece of paper, and they unfolded it. It was jokes that he had printed out. And so they all practiced ahead of time, and then during dinner he said, does anybody have a joke to tell? And then they could all do that. So find ways to involve your children. Now, Passover dinner can go for 2 hours, and that's a really long time to expect little kids to sit at a table. So again, just get clear. How are you going to involve them? How are you going to entertain them? And then at what point can you let them go, and what are they going to do? So just again, getting clear about what's realistic for
Right.
that age.
Yes.
Instead of everybody just hating everything and just praying that your kids don't do something that's going to upset some old grandparent.
Right. So get the expectations clear, and then everybody can enjoy the weekend.
That's right.
Terrific. Thank you so much again, Julie. Great advice
Pleasure.
as always. We're going for a break here on Breakfast Television. When we come back, more news, weather, and traffic. Stay with us.